Is Undertone worth your money? Let's find out. For those of you into sports, what's the worst final yard fumble ever made? Because, yeah, this movie does that. For those of you who haven't heard of it, the story follows Evie, a paranormal podcaster confined to her home while caring for a dying mother. At night, she jumps on calls with her co-host as they investigate 10 strange audio files sent to them anonymously, which are potentially cursed. And for the first 3 quarters, this film makes all the right moves. It keeps things simple, which is exactly what good horror should do, and it uses its cinematography to masterful effect, constantly framing empty hallways and dark windows just behind the character, forcing you to scan the background, always on edge, waiting for something terrifying to appear, to the point where you start questioning your own eyes. There were moments where I swore I saw something, and I couldn't tell if it was just my imagination or if the film inserts split-second artifacts in the background at times. It taps into that same primal fear that made Paranormal Activity so effective, holding on empty space and letting your imagination do the work, like when you're alone and start questioning that dark hallway in your house. And the sound design is where this film really stands out. It uses something incredibly simple but extremely effective: noise-canceling headphones, which you wouldn't think would be scary. See, Evie is locked into these creepy audio files while we increasingly get the sense that the room around her isn't safe. And that contrast between what she can hear and what she can't creates this constant tension that something more terrifying could be happening just outside her awareness. It's incredibly smart. The entire theater was on edge in a way I haven't seen since probably the first Conjuring movie. That's an impressive feat worth a ton of credit, and it might even be enough for some people. But it completely fumbles the ball in the final act. For a film that sets things up so well, it suddenly throws everything out the window. It goes full cliche, bad dialogue, forced visuals, awkward camera angles, and drawn-out scares that just don't land. The climax drags on with no real payoff, to the point where it actually becomes funny. People in the theater were laughing, and that's the last thing you want during the climax of a serious horror film. It's honestly baffling because this movie clearly understands what makes horror work, but it just had no idea how to finish it. And unfortunately, the ending ruins the entire experience. So, is Undertone worth your money? No. I'd skip this one. It doesn't stick the landing, and you can save yourself the cost of a good sound setup needed to watch it. Unless you're all about the journey and not the destination. If you like honest reviews that respect your money, hit that like button, subscribe. Oh, and YouTube thinks you might like this video on screen, so why not give it a watch?